You mean like that? Yay, another bug! I love bugs in Kerbal. Aren't they great? Okay, let's go to decouplers. Let's put this at the bottom to give it a nice stand to sit on. Save. Overwrite. Launch. Hey, it launched. Okay, let's see if this stuff can decouple. Undock. Okay. So then we can swap over to this. And then this can undock. It can. Okay. And then this can stage. That's fine. I just want to make sure it all worked. Perfect. Whee! Beautiful. That's all I wanted to do. Okay. So this thing works the way it behaves the way I want it to behave. So that's good. In vacuum, 5,639 delta V. How much delta V was the other variant? How much delta V were we getting on our tug, guys? Do you guys remember? We were getting like 3,500, right? Or was it also 5,000? Let me load one up. Let's load up something here. So if I grab this, I load it up, I take this away, and then I reroute to here. Don't save. I want to grab the nuke tug, which is this one. Merge it. I want to reroute to this part. Stick it there. Delete fairing. Take this off. And fill this full of fuel. 6,982. Hold on. Disable crossfeed. 5,335. That's what we had on the last one. So 5,335 versus 5,639. Now, this one weighs 10 tons. The other one weighed 18 tons. Which means we can probably tug the other one and still get delta V value out of it. Alright. Whoa. This is going to be tricky. Oh, man, my head. Alright, give me a minute, guys. Let me think here for a second. We don't have any relay antennas on the other build. Okay, so hold on. There's no antennas over here. We'll probably put it up there at the top. But one thing I want to do is I want to put more engines on this. I want to make it better. Like, I don't care how much it costs at the end of the day. Have I ever played Stardew Valley? Yeah. We did a playthrough of it here just recently. It's not on YouTube, though. Oh, God. Uh-oh. Well, Sandy's gone for the rest of the day. It doesn't say there's anything happening, but yeah, we have a cluster of storms right over us. I can hear it outside. It actually sounds like hail. But it doesn't look like anything that could produce hail. Oh well. Hey, guess what? It's raining outside. How's it gonna look for the rest of the day? So just scattered storms? Okay, cool. Good to know. Must have been just before you joined. Yeah, we did Stardew Valley. I've done it more than once. But we did a community center run. And this was right after the big patch. And we went over to the new island. And we did all the we unlocked everything there. And we got into the Mr. Keys lair and stuff, and yeah, we did everything. It's not a bad game. I enjoy it. It's kind of like, no, I didn't marry Penny. My goodness, Mew, come on, dude. Penny's one of the redheads. I married Haley. She was the blonde. Mew even said yesterday I married a blonde in Stardew. Kyle, I think it's great. I don't have any issues with it. I've never modded it before in my life. You can unlock everything after the first, or during the first year. The only thing you can't do is you can't 100% the community center because you have to have red cabbages and you can only buy those in year 2. How dare you, Mew? Alright, so we're going to take this off. I want to put this back. 4x. And then I want to take this off. I want to put a tiny engine plate here. Tiny, tiny engine plate. Like that. I want to go triple. So, this is the same issue we had on the other ship that we made once upon a time. I have to do this to put the engines on. And then take this and put them here. So that gives us more ions. And I want to try to put more fuel on this. Only one I really use is the one that increases your walk speed and gives more info about stuff to help with designing layouts. Oh, I just kind of winged it with the layouts. But I can see how that could be helpful for sure. Okay, so let's take this one away now. Oh, our fuel lines got broken. No, it's fine. We'll take away the fuel lines. I try to be cute with those, but we really don't need them. It's fine. I think it was before Supercat joined too. It might have been right around when Supercat joined. But believe it or not, there's a lot of you that are here that weren't here in like March, February. It's crazy how people, it's like a revolving door, sadly. Okay, so we'll take you out of staging. So we have 7,160 Delta V at 0.11 this time. Now, we're a lot more expensive, obviously. We've only gained a ton of weight, though. A ton of mass. But I have to add a relay antenna to it. Supercat, you came from the Barleys. I know where you came from. And you kind of came here out of necessity because they quit streaming. Just like IRL stream friends, I know. Which I'm thankful for you being here. And yeah, Dev Appler, that's why you got to keep growing, dude. I push that all the time on Twitch. You can't just be complacent with who you got because they're not guaranteed to be here. Triggerman, do I remember where you came from? I know that you started popping up around City Skylines, but I don't know exactly where you came from. I want to say you came from a raid. But I couldn't tell you which one. Kyle, I know where you came from. You're like a 5-year sub over on the other side. Come on, dude. Some of you from EJ's side have like followed from raids and stuff, but you never actually gave me a chance to hang out. Bearded Guys Gaming. Oh, you came from the Beard Spotlight or whatever, the Brigade Spotlight. That's cool. How you doing, Entropy? Welcome in, buddy. All right, so that looks good. 7,000 Delta V. I'm happy with it. His new mission mode stuff isn't as interesting, so you jump ship. There's a lot of people in here who have jumped ship. So let me make this clear. I love EJ. He's a friend of mine. We are not here to talk bad about him, but constructive criticism is welcome. That being said, there have been people who have come in here and said some pretty raw things about him that I don't agree with. Some people have come in here and made the claim that they enjoy watching me because I actually launch things and go into space. I think that's a pretty bad take. EJ does do that too. He just doesn't do it as often. Mew, you did come in here for Sandy because Alchemy told you about it and you popped in. You were like, there's a doggo, and I showed you the doggo and I haven't been able to get rid of you since. You spawned here out of nothing. You did. You're actually here because of a team that we will not name anymore because of people implicated with it. And you're here because of Octomouse Labs / the Barleys. And I'm thankful for you. I remember where most of you guys come from for the most part. Triggerman, the only thing with you is you kind of disappeared for a while. And you were gone. So it was kind of like one of those situations where the maintenance kind of ended on, you know? There's a doggo. There is Katsumi. How you doing? Welcome in. She's currently hiding in a bathtub right now because it's storming outside. But exclamation point Sandy right there will get you some pics. No criticism, just don't like the SSTO projects. Well, so Kyle, I'm getting a lot of pressure from people to build SSTOs in my save, and I don't want to. How you doing, Adelgas? Welcome in, buddy. Read your palm. Dude, you've been around for a bit, but you haven't been around for a bit. You're like Triggerman. You came here once upon a time, and then you kind of vanished for a long time, and I don't remember how you got here. But I'm thankful that you're here. I think that'll be hard to pin because I started watching before I started chatting. Dope Nose, I think you're a result of the networking with, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you found me during the Minecraft days when I was networking with Poof and Reaps. I'm probably incorrect for that. Adelgas, there's a lot of you here because of EJ. Incorrect. Okay, that's fine. I think I wondered in one day when EJ's engineering was getting a little too much for me. Yeah, mine's a lot simpler. I'm a very simple person though. Like this looks complex, but at its core, it's super simple. You guys are like, this looks dumb. What the hell is this? Salty Kraken. I don't use any SRBs because this is our 50-ton challenge. SRBs are just useless mass for me. So that's what you're here for, but I can't give you that. I'm sorry. What about me? Where did you come from? I can only guess. Sometimes I just need to see KSP being played, and that's why I said some people have said that. Honestly, felt bad for voting SSTO since it won by 1 vote. It's still cool, but yeah, not everyone's into hardcore engineering streams. That's how a lot of EJ's crew. Now, people who don't like that sometimes don't like me because I'm very blunt and I'm very direct with things, and people don't like that because it rubs them the wrong way. And I totally get that, but that's just me at the end of the day. But it's weird because the 5 minutes where I'm an asshole is what turns people off during my 8-hour stream, and that shouldn't be what turns people off. He wouldn't land it if we could finally do something with the mud. Oh, it's hilarious. All right, that is going to be our ballistic entry. Now, we have not tested this. We're not going to test it. We're just going to send it. We're going to send it. It's got 7,000 Delta V at 0.11 TWR. I think it's great. Anybody have thoughts, suggestions on this? It looks pretty basic, but I can't really afford all the mass with all the extra pieces to make it look pretty because we're dealing with tonnage here. Entropy, there's a lot of people that do, but it's the older crowd. The younger people don't appreciate it too much. Anybody have any suggestions on this? I love the way it looks, but I'm open to any criticisms about it. I want to put it into a fairing and ship it out. Are you old? You might not be old, but you could be just an old soul, so to speak. You think it looks good? Looks good to you? It's gonna work great. I'm not afraid of how it's gonna function. I'm just excited to get it out there. Double check the amount of a blader. Oh, this thing will make it into Eve. We've shot this thing into Eve. It doesn't have a blader. It's just a giant heat shield, dude. The radial symmetry on the engines bother you? Why? Looks like a robot on wheels. It does, doesn't it? Beauty is not only skin deep, ship it. Or beauty's not only, yeah. Speaking of where people found you, do you know any sim racing? A set of courses 60% off on Steam. Got the game in DLC for 60. Speaking of people found you, do you do any sim racing? I don't do any simulation racing. The reason being is because simulation racing is a very niche community on Twitch. I'm friends with some sim racers. I can give you a couple names, but they are their own breed, and I have a buddy who's trying to break out of it, and he'll stream an off game. So he usually pulls between 150 and 200 playing iRacing. He'll try and play something else and get 40 people, and it feels really bad. And I feel like if I dipped into there, I would lose about 30% of you guys, but gain a following that only wants to watch sim racing. And that's really hard to justify on Twitch. Because then when I'm not playing sim racing, I don't get those people watching me play the other games that I play. It happens with Kerbal too. I got more people watching me right now than I did all day yesterday playing RimWorld. And everybody who's watching me right now pretty much has already followed the channel and has been following for almost a year or more. I get it. I get it. I'm not dumb. I wish you guys would follow me elsewhere, but it's everybody's prerogative, and I'm okay with that. No open perspective like iRacing and Assetto Corsa, F1 2021 I think is the new hotness floating around, things like that. iRacing's big because it has a lot of pros who play it too, and there are people who try to like get to that pro level and stuff. But yeah, I don't think I'll be ever. I'll do like sim driving games, JM Rad. Like I'm gonna put this out here right now. I may be playing some farming simulator in November of this year. Just as a heads up. But like farming sim, SnowRunner is gonna take this game's place once we finish this, and maybe some like American Truck Simulator dabbled here and there. Open perspective, I have not. So look forward to that. We just can't. I just can't start streaming it tomorrow because no one's gonna show up. I'm trying to grow in Kerbal, or not in Kerbal. I'm trying to grow in RimWorld right now, and that's very, very difficult because I'm actually net losing follows every day I play RimWorld. So we're kind of like taking my followers and we're chipping away at it with a wooden chisel, and we're like sculpting our viewer base. Fire Fist is, we might have to set aside a day or something for like community for sure. Kraken, it'll be the newest one. You can't backseat me on the new one. Exclamation point, actually. But I don't care. You guys can backseat me all you want to. You damn dirty farmers. Okay, let's build the stack for this. Guess my preferences? Yeah, right. I know some of you guys have preferences. I'm not like saying you guys are wrong, but I hope you guys want to enjoy me outside of the game that you preference. Like JM Rad, he keeps making a splash in here to let me know he still exists outside of where he found me at, which was SnowRunner. He's like, hey, I'm still here. You're playing Kerbal. He doesn't show up during RimWorld though, but I'm okay with that. And if he does, he's hard lurking. He's not typing in chat. All right, let's get our altitude stage. 30 kilometers. Let's get the engine on here. So we're going to go with a decoupler here. I'm going to build a protective shell, a fairing, if you will. We're going to go up. Looks like we're just barely dodging the wheel there. This is going to be a heavy, heavy thing. Maybe I can do something like this and then close it up. 2.5 tons. That's an ugly fairing, isn't it? It's ugly, ugly, ugly. It should be fine, though. Would you ever consider a grand strat like EU4 or Hearts of Iron? No, because those games are utter boring, and I feel like people would just lose interest in watching you play because they take a very long time to play out, and there's not enough things in it to keep it interesting to make content out of. Like, RimWorld plays out very long too, but there are things that happen. There's always shakeups every hour or so it keeps things interesting. Something like Hearts of Iron, it's just like, oh, I take this city. The city just got taken. I'm going to take this city. The city just got taken. There's no, like, action. You just see little dots and little flags, and it's not good. It's a lot of fairing. I have to have a lot of fairing. We barely missed the wheel there, and we barely cut around that. I made it as tight as I could. You're a pro lurker. Almost daily I'll put your stream on while you're playing games. That's fine. I appreciate that. War Scar's here for the community. Screw the community. No, I'm kidding. I'm here for the community, too. I love you guys. But World Domination. EJ talked about getting into Hearts of Iron again. Go watch EJ play Hearts of Iron, honestly. He's probably better at it than I will be. Doop. We need another engine here. So what tonnage are we at right now? We're at 14 tons. We don't have a lot that we can build on this. I'm probably going to slap this on and give us this 727 Delta V. I mean, it's better than nothing. Yeah, Europa Universalis. So Triggerman, with games like that also, one thing I like to talk about with it is the barrier of entry for the experience. I understand you could buy EU4 for like $19, but the game with all the DLCs is like $200 to $300. And if I'm playing it and someone's interested in playing it and they go look at that, they get a sticker shock. And granted, they don't need to buy all of that, but it plants it in their head that, oh my god, this is a $200 game, and it turns them away from wanting to play it. So EU4 is deeply trenched with a bunch of enfranchised players who are already stuck, who already foot the bill, and they're just playing it because they've already paid the money for it. And it's really hard to get new players into the game. Unless you know, they're a whale or you're spoon feeding them, you know, all the DLCs and stuff. So it's a hard pill to force swallow for people when they look at the sticker shock of that. Like, you go to the pet store, you look at a puppy, puppy's $50. You don't look at the puppy costing you $5,000 to $8,000 over the next 3 years. You look at the $50. But then after a year and a half, you're so entrenched on having the dog, you just deal with the cost anyways. When you talk to somebody and you tell them the cost of ownership for a dog is closer to 10 grand, they'll be like, whoa, I don't think I want to get a dog. You know what I mean? Which is why shelters fill up with dogs, because of overpopulation and mistreatment and everything else. I know that was a weird segue, but hopefully that makes sense to you. we talking about Paradox games? We are rarest. Hi. Not directly, but indirectly. Only cheap because I was in at the beginning and got good prices at Humble Bundle. Yep. Now, sometimes they do put the game on sale and you can buy the whole game and all the DLCs for like $100, but it's still stupid. I can't justify paying those prices. You stop playing it because of that? There's a $5 a month subscription option too. That's what you did. I can't justify that. I would rather play Magic the Gathering than play a game that has $200 in DLC. For the very first time. Like, I'm entrenched in City Skylines. I own all the DLCs. I was given all the DLCs for free from Paradox because I was a Paradox partner. My contract expired. I had an option to renew, and I didn't renew because I don't care. Alright, so this thing's not going to make it into orbit. I've only got 2,000 Delta V. This thing weighs too much. I would have to, like, yeet it out. And I don't really want to do that either. You have, like, 100 hours in the game? That's cool. I only got it because some friends and I were doing a run. Only bad thing about that is, Kyle, after, like, 6 months, when you stop paying it, you lose all the extra content. You just wasted $30, you know? This thing weighs too much. Yeah, Tuma. I'm talking about the upper stage. Because we got to make it all work within 50 tons. I do have a little bit of extra weight we can wiggle with. But yes, we're welcome to the club. This is what we run into playing this. Maybe I can double up this fuel tank. Let me go with the larger fuel tank and see what happens. So if I go with that one and change this engine out for the skiff, that gives us 1,231 at 1.21. So that's 1,200 Delta V. This gives us 1,100. So now we're at 2,300. And we got 4 tons to wiggle with. 4 tons. Let me put this on. And now we're at like 2,600. And we're at 50.1 tons. So I gotta bring some of this down. 50.121. God, this sucks, huh? I think if I trim the fairing down, we can probably get a little more mass out of it. Let me edit the fairing. So if I look straight down, I can't really build the fairing if I do that. I think that's too big. Yeah, we can come down just a hair on that. We're in the wheel there. See how it's clipping the wheel? But I don't think it's counting us as actually clipping it. Because it's not giving us an error. Only bad thing is, if we deploy that, it might blow up. We'll have to be careful about this.